From my personal experience, the time of a classical museum is past like ages ago. So I entered the museum society quite recently, around 4 years ago, and I already found the museums in a stage when they need to be connected with their communities. Then again, from my perspective and the practice I had, that is actually the only chance, I think, for the museum to survive. Without firm connection with the community in different levels of museums work, I think that museums as the institutions can hardly survive. There is definitely many options and ways in how that can be achieved, and that namely depends on the, let's say, on the type of the museum, its aims and goals, and of course the community in which museum works. Museum of Yugoslav History, for which I work in the city of Belgrade in Serbia, is strongly working in developing projects with not only our local but regional community, trying to basically co-producing, meaning that we are offering our skills, our connection, our venue, while a local and regional community and experts are bringing their knowledge and their points of view into issues that we jointly find are important for the history of Yugoslavia in the 20th century. I think that when you say co-produce, that is the closest term I can find for the relationship in which we are. Because that is the relationship of equality, and that is why I sort of use this, the closest term, as co-production, because expertise is on both sides, not only in the museums, but in the community as well. That's a very difficult process, because there is a notion of a museum being an official institution that defends the interests of the state or of the government. So then you really have to work very hard into persuading community that you are really open, that you are really there for them, that you are really not smarter than they are, and that you sincerely want them to contribute. And then it really depends which, let's say, part of the community is going to react first. In the field where I work, which is contemporary history, we had more luck or better relationships with contemporary artists than with historians, which for me was quite interesting. Then we have a better response by local community members and community members from the region than from the sociologists. So it somehow ends up that people we see are experts in certain topics have less courage in dealing with certain issues than different layers of community. And that is why as well, at least for the museum in which I work, this a two-way communication between the museum and the community is crucial. And I think it's, for me, it's totally logical, because at least the museum in which I work is funded by the taxpayers' money. So it's theirs. It is a museum of a community. So I think that maybe if community would be aware that we work because they are paying their taxes, maybe they would be more demanding. They would be more open in asking museums to do things they are in a way paying for. And I think that also this relationship of authority and in a certain level fear of the institution has to be relaxed in certain ways. It's always easier to do it through projects than only verbally. So we are also trying to come up with projects and ideas that will be realized jointly with the community. Some of those things that I'm saying right now are still more a dream than a reality, because those steps are quite small, at least in the culture in which I work. Even working, for example, with the curators that used to work in the art museums or art historians that worked only in contemporary art exhibitions is for the historical museum a big step. So we are really peeling different layers of our community. Then, for example, working with young historians or working with young anthropologists, and then working with older historians and established anthropologists. So those are all the layers which are making our museum being in a way grassrooted, more than top-down.